Welcome to today's Tech Talk. And in today's Tech Talk, I want to focus on cell phone data access whenever you add your Google account from Stanley County Schools. So without further ado, I want to dive right into this issue. It seems like we hear about it pretty often about data breaches and people having access to your data. So I want to give everybody a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, when it comes to what Stanley County Schools has access to whenever you add your Google account to your phone. And I'm going to use my stuff as an example because then you could see everything. So what you're seeing is my actual devices that I have connected to my Stanley County Schools Google account. So I have 3. And the way that I can find these within Google Admin is I can go here and search my name. But it has to be my email name, so it can't just be Elliot Brooks, it has to be Elliot.Brooks. So within Google Admin, it gives me the ability to go through and see how many devices someone has connected to the account. So that's the first thing. Anytime you add an account to a phone, it shows up as a different device. So I have a smartwatch, and I really wasn't even aware that that one was even connected to my Stanley County Schools account until I searched for it. And then I have a personal cell phone and I have a work cell phone. So you see I have 3 devices connected. Now within that, I have the ability to wipe the device, wipe the account, delete it, or show audit events. But to be honest, that audit isn't what you think. So if I click on it, it doesn't show me all of the activity that somebody has done on that device. It essentially takes me to a reporting side. I have to put in the name. I have to select which one, which if you look at it, it says device compromise, compliance, application change, things like that. So we're not actually searching device activity. So that's the first thing that everybody can put to rest, is that Stanley County Schools can see everything you do whenever you put your Google account on there. In fact, it's pretty limited. Google does a really good job with protecting your privacy. And with that being said, anything that's within our Google Admin console, we're pretty limited on what we can see. That even goes for passwords. I can't even look up your password to your Stanley County Schools account within Google Admin. So that's a good thing on that end for protecting your privacy. But here's the other part, and this will apply to Android devices only. If you put your Stanley County Schools account on here, we have the ability to wipe the entire device. So what that does is set it back to factory specifications. It wipes all of the data off, including your personal data. So if you have an Android phone, it's a lot different than Apple. Apple, it doesn't have the same functionality. With Apple, all I can do is wipe the account. So it still gives me the ability to wipe the account. So if you got a few weeks ago a message saying that Stanley County Schools was going to have access to your data if you agreed, this is what you were agreeing to, that we could wipe the account off of the device. Also, there's a little bit of information that can be seen. I'm going to show it to you in just a minute. But that's really the biggest thing. The reason the wipe account there is, let's say you lose your personal phone. Well, if your work email is attached to that, your work Google account, that means if somebody found it and could gain access into it, they would have access to a good bit of confidential information that you wouldn't want anybody else seeing that has to do with your work. So that's why that is there. Now the delete button, all that does is delete your phone out of this, but then as soon as you sign into that account again, it pops right back up. So that's only there if, let's say, I knew that a phone was broken or something like that, I could wipe the account and then delete the device from our system. Now let me go into my personal phone so you can see. Let me view details. It will say the last time it synced, so the last time you actually pulled data off of it. And then it lists all of the apps that I have on my phone. Now, this is the part that's probably the most invasive because somebody could see what apps you have on here. But the reality is I could see all of the apps, but I can't do anything about it. So I can't click on it. I can't see when you are accessing things. I mean, I know I've got apps on here that I've never accessed that I may have downloaded at some point but actually never used. So those are the things that are in Google Admin that we can see. Now, the other side of that is if you're really worried about somebody having access to the sites that you've been on, things like that, putting your device on our network at school is much more invasive than having your email account or your Google account on your phone. And that's because when it's on the network, it can be monitored for the sites you visit, all of the activity. With your Google account, essentially all I can see, if I really wanted to, would be the last time it's synced, the apps you have, and then also I could wipe the account from the device. So this should give you a little bit of information on how to proceed with that. If you're comfortable with that, then feel free to add your Google account to your mobile device. If you're not comfortable with this, then I would say it gives you enough information to make that decision. But at the end of the day, we kind of just want to be transparent on what all this means so that you can make the best decision for you. And that it's not really a forced decision that you either have to accept this or not. I mean, you can make the conscious decision on whether you're comfortable with the access we have or not. If you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know.